Hi everyone, I'm Laura McDonald, Chief Growth Officer at Hotwire, the global technology communications and marketing consultancy. And today I'm going to talk about how to use AI as a strategic partner and growth engine. But instead of using slides, I'm actually going to show you some real examples of how we've been using AI to build and test strategies, scenario plan, and unlock new areas of growth for our team and clients. So let's start with talking about how we build strategies. First, we need to understand the goals and the objectives of the programs we want to deliver. We're here to boost the reputation of a company and its executive ahead of a new funding round, IPO, or earnings. Are we here to drive sales of a new product to a new audience? Or are we here to protect the core from increasing competition? So working closely with our clients to understand the key business objectives and how overall success will be measured is the crucial first step. But once we know that, the actual building of the strategy can start. And this is where AI can really play a role to accelerate getting to the right insights. And at Hotwire, we're on the path to become an agentic organization. Why? Because we believe that AI can make us more empowered. And we're not the only ones. We recently commissioned a study with think tank partner House of Beautiful Business, and they surveyed 900 business professionals about how they're using AI at work and why. And overwhelmingly, everyone said it had made their work better. 78% said that was because it made them faster, and another 60% said it had improved the quality of their output. So let's talk practically about how we've been using AI to speed up how we gather and present insights that inform strategy. I'm going to start with sharing two different examples. One that looked at how and where aspirational peers and competitors are showing up to inform a CEO exec comms platform we built. And then another one centered on the white space for product storytelling for a product that's launching into a new market. How we've been doing this at Hotwire is really utilizing kind of AI agents to help us more quickly gather information within a custom platform that we call Hotwire Ignite. So Ignite is primarily powered by Gemini Gems, but obviously this could be done with other platforms too, like OpenAI agents as well. So the report you can see now is one that we built to really build that strategy for one of our kind of client CEOs executive comms platforms. And this report is an output of kind of multiple prompts we created for multiple agents, where we asked them to identify where our CEOs' aspirational peers and competitors were showing up across media outlets, councils, newsletters, podcasts, and events. And then we also used AI to dig into the topics most discussed in these features by each of the kind of aspirational peers or competitors. I've pulled up and just isolated here, the one for Sam Altman and the types of topics he's been talking about or not. And then once we had all these insights they pulled in, we had yet another AI agent build this into this interactive web page you can see here. So we could really visualize this information. Obviously, there's a lot of human interaction kind of here if you look in the sort of topic analysis. For example, the agents are pulling all of this information for us, but as a human, we're kind of going through reviewing it, really pulling through what was those kind of key narratives. How did they show up? What were the topics that had really, driven kind of, some of the changes in these kind of topics and sort of the executive insights as well. We also made sure, with the humans to give direction to those AI agents if the information coming back wasn't what we needed, or if there was, missing information or incorrect information. But overall, to be able to put together a report like this took us a lot less time and a lot less manual effort, and being able to deliver it in a much more easily accessible, format straight away than we'd have been able to do without kind of really leaning on AI to do the heavy lifting. And as you can see, this has given us lots of valuable insight from where the white space is within the conversation that perhaps, we want to really focus our CEO on running with and owning. Also kind of where those, aspirational kind of peers are showing up in kind of some of the new media as well. Would those be really good, media targets or podcast targets kind of for us to go after? It gives us a really good sense of that, and also allows us, what would be the sort of appropriate way for them to show up on kind of the right social channels, like how are, some of their peers engaging there. So let's look at the second example now. As I said, a completely different goal. This time we are supporting, one of our clients, to launch its new kind of B2B kind of product into a new market, in this case, France. Again, using kind of custom prompts and Gemini gems, we're able to really task, different agents to go out and analyze the current kind of market kind of landscapes in France, like what's happening, in France, so these key trends that will make a real difference for our client as they look to launch. We can do that by having an agent that looks at which sectors would most benefit from our kind of client's, solution, or indeed another agent that's really looking into how potential customers in France, are researching kind of new product kind of solutions. Again, really able to get us to understand that, okay, if we want to be launching this new product, then local business press in France is going to be crucial for it. Then LinkedIn as well. The other thing that we can do in this report isn't just the insights, but actually you can go even further. And, we can start to really cross-check kind of these insights against the kind of client's key strategic differentiators and identify the highest pain points that our new audience in France will have, so that we can really start to build kind of positioning for our client against those pain points. We know that if you can identify pain, then people are more likely to buy. So we really want to make sure that our content and things that we're talking about really will resonate with our potential target audiences. And then all of that can come together in a, detailed kind of proposed roadmap of activity that we'll be doing across, content, across, media, like the French trade press, across influencers, places we should go and sponsor. And so really being able to use the kind of AI agents, these kind of custom gems, and again, with a lot of kind of human validation, working with our team in France to review the research and ensure it was accurate, to make sure that those are the right kind of pain points and right kind of media outlets. But overall, we were able to ensure that we had, a proposed roadmap that was aligned to our client's product messaging and strategy overall, but uniquely tailored to entering kind of France. And being able to pull this together quickly and present it visually, again, all done by AI, was of huge benefit to our team and clients. So now we've got all of the insights and we're starting to build kind of towards the strategies. We don't have to stop there with working with AI. And one area we've started to find, more interest and more work being done is with using AI as well to build synthetic focus groups. So how many of us have clients that have a bunch of research into their target audience, whether that's surveys you've done in the past for mediagenic reasons or persona information that your marketing team has built? We can use all of that to build a synthetic focus group. It's not just as simple as putting that information into like a custom GPT or something. Our AI Labs team really does have to do some work to map, all of the kind of context and that information, the responses from the surveys and things against a kind of normal distribution of people, the kind of traditional bell curve that we're all familiar with, to identify like the clusters of the personas, but also the volume of those individual kind of clusters as well. And then from that, you can create that focus group, but also individual kind of synthetic personas aligned to each cluster. And then taking this even further from going beyond just the information that we have from our clients or we have from, other research, we can also start to build synthetic focus groups, what the AI knows about these people too. I'm not sure how many of you did that when it was going around LinkedIn, but if you ask ChatGPT what it knows about you, it's like eerily accurate from your job that you have, the type of work that you do, personality traits. And so we can use that to really feed into these synthetic focus groups as well. So let's look at this for a transportation client that really wanted to be seen as a government technology company, not transportation. And that was particularly because they really cared about, boosting their profile when it came to retail investors and thinking that, GovTech, stocks typically trade higher than transportation ones. And so by using our tool, kind of Hotwire Spark, we were able to use AI agents to act as that specific kind of persona and then query, what questions is this persona most likely to ask a specific LLM, and what answers are they receiving? And so what this allowed us to see is that even though the company is positioning itself as a mission critical technology platform, ultimately what retail investors really do care about and the questions that they're asking LLMs today is actually how should they value GovTech investments and what are the risks of investing into GovTech? And so feeding kind of those sort of insights back into our synthetic focus groups allows us to continue to refine them and keep them up to date. And we can use these focus groups in lots of different ways. Firstly, just a gut check. Would this topic or message be of interest to our target audience? And as you saw with the transportation earlier, maybe a topic that we really care about, or our clients really care about, just isn't one that our target audience does. Secondly, will this creative idea resonate with our target audience? How would they likely react? And being able to run ideas by our synthetic focus groups, like we used to be able to do with real life focus groups, can help us weed out those kind of creative ideas that just won't resonate, really allow us to refine our proposal and check our ideas before we present them to clients, or indeed take them live. The third one that we've also started using these for is to help us directionally with future research. If we ask these questions, what would the likely response be? And is that interesting? We know that when we're running those, surveys or polls for kind of, ultimately media relations purposes, we often have limited questions that we can ask. And we want to make sure that the ones we ask get us to that interesting headline, that interesting news story that media will want to write. So being able to see ahead of time what would be the most likely responses, which ones are the most interesting, and which ones give us something that we already know, can be incredibly beneficial when it comes to developing kind of, future news story ideas as well. So we've used AI to help us move faster to insights and to strategies. We've used AI to help qualify our ideas and news stories. And then to end today's presentation, I also wanted to show you how we can use AI for help with content creation for this new audience of machines. So we're all familiar and concerned about AI slop, and obviously I would counsel really strongly about having AI write everything for us. But we also need to recognize that the LLMs themselves are now an audience we need to care about, and that they have different preferences in how they read content to represent that to their audiences. And we can use AI to reformat our own content, as well as providing the underlying kind of schema that's the sort of code behind the web page to make it more readable by the machines. So here's a quick snapshot of that in action for a recent announcement that we did at Hotwire to announce our new global CEO. The content on the left is the original, and then the content on the right-hand side is the one that the AI rewrote for us to optimize its format and content for that machine audience. You can see we haven't changed the kind of tone or the actual kind of content, but just rewritten it to align with, how AI likes to read. And by publishing an AI optimized, version, we have a stronger chance of the content being cited kind of by AI. And we use that here with the improved kind of AI citability score. So this certainly isn't, content from like an AI optimized point of view that you'd recommend sending to a reporter. We know that they really only want the TLDR anyway. But as a second piece of content for publishing on the wire or on your own site, using AI to optimize for AI can again really help create greater impact for our clients and the messaging that they want to do. So, conscious I didn't do slides here, and instead I just sort of showed you some specific use cases and how we've been using AI to build and test strategies, scenario plan, and really helping us unlock new areas of growth and opportunity for our team and clients. And I believe that everyone needs to have that sort of test and learn mindset, because this AI space is evolving too fast for kind of static playbooks. And the teams who succeed won't focus on getting everything perfect on the first try, but we're focusing on rapid experimentation, fast feedback, and continuous refinement of human to machine collaborations will be of benefit to all of us. AI is here to challenge us, to sharpen our experience and expand where human agency is heading. And for us as PR professionals, it's not only going to create efficiencies, but also more opportunities. Thank you.